Yeah, thank you. No, seriously, thank you and all of that stuff. So today it's a very quick video because I didn't write anything for this. Like I don't have notes, I don't have a script. I don't have anything today because I'm just slightly pissed off as I'm gonna run out of things to be pissed off about when like I'm like 10 videos into this channel. But there's this thing that's been buzzing in my brain for not some weeks, not some months, but some years now. And it's the fact that we, and as we I speak as the early 2000 kids and all of the stuff, and being born in 2003, I can speak for all of them, and I can say that we learned nothing. Why? We learned nothing. We learned nothing from the past generations. Which generation am I talking about? I'm talking about one of the most famous and one of the most, sometimes we could call them hated, generations that has and have been on the internet like in the past decade, I think. And it's famous 90s kids. What and why did we learn anything from them? I used Instagram and Facebook, or saw them for the first time around from 2010 to 2012, around the same time when I first saw YouTube. But with Facebook and Instagram I had kind of a different experience. Because I knew YouTube, because it was on the class computer in elementary school. We had a computer was in a corner, and I knew that there was this thing called YouTube where there were tutorials on like the elastic shooter or however those were called, on also cooking stuff and like music videos. So that was a thing for me. But then there were those famous social medias on which the news kinda were starting to talk about more and more because of the scandals with video games like GTA, all that stuff that people in the 2010s talked about. The social medias for me were Instagram and Facebook, as I said before. And I knew that they were these things where people posted about their lives. I didn't really got why. I was in elementary school again, I was I think in 3rd or 4th grade, and I just had that kind of general idea. And well, I used Facebook for the first time with my older sister account, and that's the same experience that I had with Instagram. So I saw it. I saw the memes about my generation coming and then going again. I saw all the nostalgia of the 90s kids and all the hate for the 90s kids. I was there when there was the boom of like all cartoons in the 90s were better, or everything was better in the 90s, everything was better in the early 2000s. No, all of that weird stuff. It was more about the 90s. But things about the early 2000s were starting to pop off. I remember the time when the internet kind of accepted as a whole that it was done with the 90s kids. It was done with only 90s kids who understand, with all the meta jokes and all the dunk memes that were making jokes about the only 90s kids will understand this. And it's a whole thing that's got in the general culture, like this fun of those kind of 2010s memes and things like that. But there's been a couple of things in past months and past years that just made me think, oh wow, we learned nothing for real. You know, when I was in middle school, I had this kind of thought. I remember thinking that we were so lucky because my generation, having experienced all of that shittiness and nostalgia, and having those old people for us saying, oh yeah, haven't you seen those animes that are now, well, they're just shit like the cartoons that you watch, because in the 90s there were the good cartoons. Oh, are you watching Spectacular Spider-Man? Well, we had the Spider-Man 2 in the 90s, but it was so much better and so much buffer, and it was so good. Not like this thing. What are you watching? This is embarrassing. This is no, stinky. I don't stinky. But what I couldn't predict in middle school is what the internet would have been for society in a couple of years by then. Because internet was always a big thing since I was born. I was born in 2003, so internet wasn't really new for anybody. It was kind of this thing that was developing and getting bigger. It wasn't being created. It had been there for a while already. People were just starting to discover it more and more and more. More parents were getting involved into it, and it was around the time when, you know, all the parents got into Facebook, so Facebook died. You know, it's still on, but it's full of Novaks and all the parents that want to check on their kids' Facebook pages. A couple of months ago, I think 2 months ago, there was this video spreading on the internet. It was this old video, came from a tape recorder, I think recorded in like 1985 or 1975, I think it was 1985, but I'm not sure. And all the people in the comments, as even Michael from Vsauce pointed out, it was this cool and weirdly neat experience to have. It was this direct cut in these people's lives that weren't recording because they wanted to post that on YouTube or any kind of social media. They were just recording that to watch it later. It was a memory, it was something like that. And that's a good comment. But sometimes what happens, it's this distortion of what reality and time is. Because the danger of making comments like that is pretty visible. It's the danger of making nostalgia a real thing. And we all know about that, right? We know that in 1985 things weren't perfect. We know that people lived there. It wasn't this perfect happy place without internet and with the good stuff, because there wasn't social media back then, and these people didn't want to post that on the internet. That was the good stuff. But no, that's not the point why it's interesting. It's interesting because it's this cut in these people's lives that had no idea that the video would have been watched in so many years after that. That had no idea that the video could have been posted on YouTube, or even that something like YouTube could have existed. And it's really neat. We're seeing these people living this kind of older but also alternative world. They look so similar to us, but they're also so different because they don't have the knowledges and the things that we have now. But then, recently, in the past days, I saw this other video that, got viral on the homepage, like those 43 seconds videos of cats and hey Bobby, hey Larry, things that get over the internet. It was a video called something like Goodbye 2010, and it was a compilation of videos and photos of this girl with a friend of her, just with some weird rock music in the background, 2010 stuff. But then I saw the comments, and there I got confused, because so many comments were so damn similar to the one of the video of 1985. Like, very similar. There were literally comments that could have swapped from a video to the other, and you wouldn't even notice that. Really there are. Of course, it's fine. There are people that were 10 in 2010 and they're 20 now, or 21. It's fine, people have nostalgia, that always happens. But I saw a comment, because it was like, teenagers at the time were much better, or like teenagers, videos like this much better, because people didn't do things for clout, but did it just because they liked it, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that. Because a comment of this kind not only implies that the person that wrote it does not have a general conception of what the internet is and what the internet was 10 years ago, but also there is no conception or idea of what a teenager is. Again, I don't have any idea of who the person is, how old is he or she or they, I don't know, I have no idea. They could be 11 as they could be 45. I don't know and I don't care. It's just so weird that so many likes and so many comments on it that were saying just like, oh my god, so true, you're so right, you just got the point, man. Oh my god, I understand you. Yeah, right, oh, we are so much better. But like, no, we weren't. There were people that were commenting. I was 8 at the time, and I remember people being so much better. I was 10 at the time, I was 13, I was 7, I was 6. These are people that are my age, and they're saying this stuff. We haven't learned anything. We haven't learned really anything from the 90s kids. One, because really half of the comments were from people that were 6, 7, or 10 at the time, so they're still teenagers. Even for somebody that is 21 and could be called in his early adult life, it's embarrassing to have like this conception of a teenager, because it's just plain wrong. Because I guarantee you, even now, even 2021, I'm speaking for March 2021, there's no teenager that is doing these things only for clout and not for personal beliefs. I know that there's been cases of like even elementary schoolers being famous on TikTok or even on YouTube for doing prank videos or whatever, but that's not how time, society, culture, or people work. People and teenagers still have beliefs. If they get clout for that, if they get famous for that, that's another thing. Of course, there's people exploit the things they don't believe into, and there's people exploiting trends and stuff just to get famous because people just want to grind and to be famous more than ever. That's a thing for sure, but that's really just a small percentage of people. There's still so many people that use social media, but just post their pictures on there and some stories for their friends. They wish to be maybe Instagram famous, but they don't actually try to get to the point. They have dreams for a job that they want to achieve and things that they are studying for to get somewhere. Because, again, they have ambitions, they have dreams, and they have personal beliefs. And a comment like that is embarrassing, because it could have been done on the same video on the day it was posted. If you came to the video in 2010 and wrote, oh my god, you guys are embarrassing, not like people in the 90s. There, the people dressed horribly and there were emos because they did it for personal beliefs, not like You now in 2010 and 2011, now you just want to post it on YouTube and Instagram. When was Instagram made? I don't remember. Again, this is a meaningless video. I'm once again hungry for something meaningless, and this one specifically seems so unorganized. I literally don't have anything to read here on the screen for the first time. I'm just saying myself. I'm looking at myself in the screen. But seriously, I'm talking to you. 2000s kids. Early and even late 2000 kids. Now the late 2000 kids are probably, are starting to become teenagers too. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we all doing this? We should have learned from the 90s kids. We should have learned that the next generations are not worse than us. We should have learned that our childhood life wasn't the best one. We should have learned that every kid's early years are the best for him, and they will be the best for the rest of his life. And I know it's a thing that everybody does, but I'm disappointed because I thought we learned that. I'm seriously disappointed. I swear, I'm disappointed in this because I believed in us. And it's a dumb thing to say, but I believe that we would have been better on social media than the people that were on there 10 years ago and they now are 30 or 40. I genuinely believe that. But we managed to not be. And to do the same shit memes where people said, OMG, who remember these cartoons? Only the cool kids from the 90s will remember these, where there were Drake and Josh or something, and weird Transformer cartoons. We managed to do that, but to do that with iCarly, Victorious, and weird cartoons that were on Nickelodeon in the early 2000s, the late 2000s. Also, these are things that still go on TV in so many countries. You can't do the same for the 90s. It's not that different from now. But I don't know if this video is even gonna be posted. I still have to watch it again. I recorded for 21 minutes or something. I have to watch how decent this is, but I don't know. I'm disappointed in us. I'm so disappointed. I know I'm not talking for everybody, but it's just such a good portion of what Gen Z is on the internet. Now there's starting to be so much hate for Gen Z because from canceling people on Twitter again and again and saying dumb shit in the comments, like millennials and the generation started to make a meme out of what the Gen Zs are on the internet. I don't know, it's kinda embarrassing for a generation that was meant to be the one on social medias. The one that was in the perfect target for when they came in, and the one that was made so much fun of, and is, again, made so much fun of, because it's acting in this weird way. And I don't know. I'm no better for this. I include myself in everything I said for sure, but just, I don't know. I kinda expected better. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like an old dad who's 17. And this said, I don't know, I guess. Be disappointed in everything. Be mad at things that don't mean anything. Watch my videos. And live your life as you want. Because that's really everything you can do to be happy. Bye.